lone. A lone person. When I moved to Toronto, about 10 years ago, I had an impression that I would be transformed into someone who was social. I think you know those people. You see them at the bar, closing it down on a Friday night at 3 a.m. They gracefully glide like a ballerina, moving from one group to another group. The flow of conversation in peaks and dips, but never ending. Of course, a ballerina isn't exactly the same thing as this person. Quite likely this person has had 3 pints of an imported ale, which caused his feet to glide more like those floppy, ambiguously gendered lawn decorations with spiky hair and almost no indication of bone structure except for the air current spindling through them. It could look like an elaborate, choreographed routine rather than the actual intoxicated third-choice MapQuest directions that it really is. But this person moves with a grace that is equivocal in its success. He joins a group, moves the conversation to him, and before much conversation goes to anyone else, he wanders away to another group for their undivided attention. He never misses a beat. He never misses a person in the bar. And I might add, no one misses him either. Who wouldn't want to talk with the most charismatic person in the bar? Now, let me describe for you someone else I'm sure you've seen. This person arrives with no one. His intentions are just and noble, like a knight off to slay a dragon. He is a determined person. He is smart, maybe a little handsome, but not full of himself. And he does know people. Maybe not as well as our very connected other friend, but he knows people, and people know him. The scenario starts out like this. He steps through the door and enters the room. He waves at a few people, acknowledging their presence. And they acknowledge his. He keeps his jacket on. Here's where it starts to get dicey. He has with him a bag which contains, and by no means is this particular, an iPad in case he gets a creative idea. A book. A writing book in case the batteries die on the iPad. A pen for the writing book. A book light in case all the power in the world goes out. And a second book in case he finishes the first one. He walks in, his jacket still on, his bag with its shoulder strap still firmly around his neck. Dare I call it a noose? I might. He begins by going to join a group. Oh, he knows 1 or maybe 2 of the 6 men in the circle. And he moves his head from each as they speak. In his mind, he knows what to say. He is educated, book smart, as he does have 2 books in his bag, as well as a whole host of ebooks he will never finish because he likes paper better. And he knows how to have a conversation. Yes, he is able to speak well. He can do that whenever he works up the nerve to open his mouth to say something. Conversation has moved on, and he hasn't contributed any thought into it. Slowly, he backs away from the group and considers moving to join another, but when he looks at the people, he gets the idea that he knows them even less than he did the first group and decides against it. It is at this point that this person goes to the bar and orders an overly priced bottle of water, which has more chemicals in it than the tap water that he could drink, Only he brought a thermos with him in his bag, but didn't for lack of space, because he brought 2 books with him instead of 1, because he knew he wouldn't read the e-book. He buys the overly priced bottle of water and looks back around the room. Now, when he sees these people, these strangers he swore he knew not 20 minutes earlier, he starts to run an inner monologue within his brain. That inner monologue might go something like this. Hey, I haven't seen so-and-so in a long while. Maybe it was Christmas the last time I saw him. I wonder if he's still with that horrible boyfriend who had like 2 other boyfriends but wasn't willing to acknowledge it even when everyone, including myself, told him he already had 2 other boyfriends. Maybe he likes having a boyfriend with 2 other boyfriends. It would make some things easier. Hey, wouldn't that make a great play? A play about a guy with a boyfriend with 2 other boyfriends. No, wait. I need to change it to 3 boyfriends. I don't like writing about people I know because it isn't nice. And they might figure out it's about them. But then, they never would come to see a play that you do because they never really come to see anything that you do. Even when you invite them over and over with those cute little Facebook invites where you invite your 500 closest friends and maybe 10 reply back. Now, you're being bitter. Maybe they were busy. Maybe they couldn't come because they're like an hour out of town. And they say that they have no money, even though they came in the next weekend after the play and never told you. Maybe I could write a play about that. But then, what would be the point? Because the person you would want to come see it wouldn't be there to get the hint. And then the people that did come to see it would be like, I wonder if the person he's writing about is here tonight, because he's clearly writing about someone he knows and wants to bitch about. But then, he wouldn't be here because he's bitching about someone that doesn't come to see his stuff. And then what would the point be? Maybe I should just write a play about dead American presidents that nobody in Canada will care about, except for those people who really believe in me. Okay, I think this inner monologue is getting a little long. It is at this point that this person realizes he is sat in a seat far from the maddening crowd. He says maddening because that comes from literature. Yes, he knows it's actually madding crowd, but no one cares. Now the maddening crowd seems ridiculously far away. I mean far away. I mean like a mile away. When, in reality, they're really just 10 feet away, standing and talking in groups, as if he didn't exist. As if he were to go home, no one would miss him. As if he were to stand up, waving his arms about, but standing on a chair, spelling gibberish about how the entire bar they're getting intoxicated in is burning to the ground in a huge blazing fire, would they even notice him there? This person sits on his chair and looks at these people. He's sure that these people know him. Well, some of them know him. Some know his name. Almost all of them have him on their Facebook friends. Of course, they also have, like him, Kevin Smith on their Facebook friends list. And that doesn't mean they know him. Well, maybe one does. He starts to rally the courage to stand up with his almost finished bottle of expensive water and walk over to these people that know him. Because yes, they do know him and have even chatted with him from time to time. Well, one-on-one they've talked with him because that's how he talks. And they've had amazing conversations because they find him interesting and he finds them interesting. He even swears that when he looks their way that they are imploring him to stand up and join them. to enter the conversations, to become one of the gang. However, for this person, even the knowledge that these people like him, will talk to him, want him to join their conversation, it isn't enough. He feels a shake in his body, a rise in his heartbeat, a quiver in his eyes. He will try to settle it by turning to his obnoxiously large Android screen on his phone, which requires a stylus. Check a quick email or text because maybe the courage to try again will just happen when he does that. Maybe knowing that there's a new Glee episode coming up, or seeing an original Instagram photo of someone's face, which looks like every other photo the guy posts of himself online. Maybe that'll help. He hopes that it'll help. But he knows this venture is fruitless. He knows it's just a stalling game that he's playing for more time. The anxiety of this social situation has hit a peak. And he knows the only thing to do is leave. He won't say a word to a person. He won't offer a wave to a person. These are his friends and people that he knows, and he won't acknowledge them as he makes his way to the door. In fact, he believes himself so invisible that he thinks they won't even notice. And if he does his job right, they won't. Oh, at some point, one of them might say, "Hey, I thought I saw so-and-so here. Where did he go?" And another person will indeed confirm that, "Yes, I did see so-and-so here, but that was like ages ago." And they will wonder where he went and why he left without saying goodbye. They will maybe, just maybe, send him a note on Facebook because they know he's on their friends list. Yes, all of this might just happen. However, for this person, it's too late. He won't hear it because he's already left, down the stairs, through the door, and out on the street. He will have left the bar because if he were to stay in the bar, someone might notice him. The very thing he would want, but not at this moment. His body is still shaking. His breathing is still labored. The quiver in his eyes still visible to the people he passes on the sidewalk while making his way to catch a much earlier subway than he had hoped. They might even see a tear roll down his cheek. This person cannot be in a crowd of people. He can know everyone in the crowd, but to be in the crowd feels like the world is crushing in upon him. He's so afraid of being there that he has to leave that world for anywhere else that seems quieter. Like the first book in his bag. Or the second book, because yes, he did finish the first one. He feels the shake in his body, that uncomfortable sensation of dread sift away out of his body. But the memory remains palpable, as if it were still there. Days, weeks, months later, it never goes away. And do you know what the sad thing is about this person? Possibly the saddest thing that will happen? This person will experience this night again and again and again, never ending. Hopeful that the next time will be the time it all changes. the tragedy turns to comedy. The play will conclude with a happy ending. You will enter the bar, see all the same people, buy the same overpriced bottle of water, and try again. This person will sit on his seat with his bottle of water, hopeful that courage will lift him up, move him with determination, and allow him to join the noise of the crowd instead of merely being a spectator. He hopes not just to watch the crowd, but to become part of it.